Got to make sure you keep up with the H2O. You know, stay hydrated. It's very important to make sick videos like this one. Thanks for tuning in. What's going on, everybody? Gabriel say, aka The Truth, back with Dadventures. During these Dadventures videos, I'm going to be taking you through the process of how I'm starting the clothing line, but also how you, like all the tools that you need to get a clothing business up and running. If you don't know, if you haven't seen the old video that I'm talking about, I'm going to link it here, but I ran a company called Peeps Athletics. I wanted to take a different direction due to a number of reasons that I mentioned in that video. So I decided to close that down and start a new one. So as I build this new one, I wanted to show you what I did, what I'm doing now, and also my mistakes. What mistakes did I painfully make during this process? And also kind of gets you up to speed of where I am now. So then the future videos will be a bit more interactive and showing you like little bits of like what I'm doing, meetings I need to go and have and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, don't want this video to be too long, so I'm gonna get cracking. You know what to do, smash the ting, yeah? So the first one is, why are you starting it? Yeah, it's such a simple question, but often goes unanswered. You need to have an actual reason why you wanna start it. For example, what problem do you wanna solve? You know, is it just the fact that, oh, you just wanna make money? You just feel like, oh, if you have a big following, I'm just gonna put something out and I just wanna make some extra money. Okay, cool, but that's not essentially like a clothing line. That's just like, you know, some extra change. That's my opinion anyway. Because most successful clothing lines see a gap in the market and they try and fill that gap with whatever ideas they have. The next one is, who's your avatar? Who's your target audience? I've done loads of business seminars which all ask the same question. Who the hell are you trying to sell to? And it needs to be detailed. It needs to be like to the point where you're like, the ideal person who's gonna buy this item, product, whatever it is gonna be this old. They're gonna work in this sector. They're gonna do this as their hobbies. Hell, give them a name. Frank. He's gonna be 35. He's gonna work in the financial sector. His hobbies are gonna be horse riding. These are the type of magazines. So you build a profile of the exact person that would be your perfect client, because then you can expand off that and be like, okay, so the age range I want to look at will be from this age to this age. Do you get what I mean? So all of your branding and everything will be targeted to that specific niche. And then the next one is, what's your elevator pitch? If you were stuck in an elevator and you got in on the ground floor and you're going up to the 10th floor, and the person says to you, oh, what do you do? Then you say, oh, I'm a designer for clothing. They say, oh, what's your clothing about? You have about, you know, not that long to go up those floors to explain in a nutshell what your business is about. That's the elevator pitch. So once you got that, you've got a clear, concise view of what your company and what your ethos and just everything that you're doing. Then on to the next point, very similar. What words describe your brand best? You know, like if it was Adidas. Now I could imagine it being sporty, retro, you know, those type of words that you when you've designed it, you'll be like, does it tick those boxes? So then you've got the brand pillars. Now this is like your core missions. So these are the pillars that are gonna hold up everything else. If it doesn't match this pillar, then you're doing something wrong. There's something to always refer back to, which is almost elaboration on the words that describe your brand best. All of this is possibly the most important part. How can you target someone when you don't know who you're targeting? Which leads me on to my mistake number one. I rushed the hell out of this stage. Take more time, take a couple days, take a week if you need to really establish what this section is. All right, so you got all of that sorted. Now you need to decide whether you're an apparel line or a clothing line. Now, this might just be my distinction between the two, but the way that I see it is that if you're an apparel line, you're putting your branding on someone else's creation. If you're a full-fledged clothing line, you're putting your brand in on your own creation. Now there's no shade being thrown here. Whichever path you decide to take, that's cool. True Beast was my creation with my branding on it. This new one is gonna be my creation with my branding on it. That's the path that I've chosen to take. Because the other stuff, I've done it. When I was at uni, I created this clothing. It was called GeForce Originals. And I was printing onto other people's creations. I had zero control over how it fitted. I had to just compromise on that. And it was from that point I was like, yeah, I don't really want to compromise on that. Fast forward a few years, I went back to the same business model for the Fearless Wolfpack. If any of you guys remember the Fearless Wolfpack apparel, then you are true OGs. I built a screen print exposure unit. I built my own screens to create my own t-shirts and stuff, and then realized that it was actually cheaper just to get another company to do it, and saved a lot more time. So, assuming you're taking the have your own creation, brand your own creation approach, you need to find some way to keep everything, to collate everything. It might be a Word document, it might be Google Docs, that's a very popular one. It could be Pinterest for pictures and stuff. I use a scrapbook, 35, old set in some of my ways. But from here, like everything that you've figured out about your target audience and stuff, type it up, print it out if you've got a scrapbook as well, and put it in there. Like have it as one of the first pages. So you always, when you're looking at your design book and stuff, why is this twisted like some flipping bra strap? I lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, that's what I was saying. Everything needs to be in this scrapbook or in these files. So when you go back, you always see it. When you don't see it, you forget it, and you start going off on like different directions and stuff. But start thinking about things that inspire you. Loads of images, things that you think, oh, I love that texture, or I love how that looks, or I love these colors, or I love this combination, oh, I love that sign. Like just anything that you just think, wow, that is inspirational for me. Now I'm not a fashion student, I never studied it. I don't even call myself a full-fledged fashion designer. All of the stuff that I've learned over the years is from YouTube and Google. But it was from like picking like different things from different places, speaking to different people all the time. And that's why I just thought, let me just bring it all together, everything that I've learned, and then just share it in one video so you don't have to do the same shiz. But this also leads me on to mistake number 2. I rushed the hell out of this one too. I had maybe half a page of inspiring things. Actually, I don't even think I had a page. I had a couple of screenshots. And then when you screenshot on your phone, where does that stuff go? Like you'll come back to it 2 years later and be like, why the hell that screenshot there? And this is because I was so excited about building something, making something, having a physical product, that all I wanted to do was just get started. But as we know, without a strong foundation, your house will crumble. Oh, yeah, the lighting is way better from this angle. Now, if you don't have a name in mind or a logo in mind, that's cool. Just with your inspiration boards of like stuff that inspires you, throw stuff in there as well, logos that inspire you and that kind of thing, to just either get your mind thinking if you're a designer yourself, graphic designer yourself, or if you want to give that to someone else to create something. One designer that I spoke to for the new line actually said that Pinterest, you can share the boards, which makes things really easy. So yeah, pro tip. But that leads me on to mistake number 3. I spent so long on the development of the logo, like literally over a year. I actually think it was about a year and a half. A year and a half. Now the logo matters, but not just yet. Because if we put it into perspective, the Nike logo doesn't actually sell products. The branding and the product quality does. So I guess what I'm saying is, I wish I had done, still working on the logo in the background, maybe 30 to 40% of the time. But then making sure that the product that I'm looking to create really serves a purpose, really, hits the nail on the head. And I'm spending 60 to 70% of my time on that. And that little fail, that little mistake, all boiled down to not really taking the time to figure out what it's solving, who I'm targeting, blah, 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 all the stuff in the beginning. But now, the fun begins. And that is putting everything together to start creating your masterpiece, your creation, your Frankenstein. When it comes to product drafts and sketches, you don't have to be good at drawing. You can find those mannequin drawing things that those fashion students are so good at drawing. You can download them, you can trace them. You can trace the body shape, and then you can just kind of draw your stuff on it. It just helps that I was good at art. Art was something that I like, design is something that I like, but a lot of people aren't like that. But it's more about just getting what's in here onto here, so then if you can hand it to someone, there's at least something that they can work from. Do you get what I mean? Alright, so once you've kind of got your concept, you've got the ideas and stuff, now it's time to start finalizing the logo and the name and that kind of thing, and spend time. I know I mentioned that I spent too much time, but you do need to spend a decent amount of time to make sure that the logo is representative of you and the name is something that you're like, yeah, that's the one. Ask people, ask friends, ask family, what do you think of this name? What do you think of this logo? Will that attract this type of person, in your opinion? Ask that type of person. If you have friends within that age range or whatever, ask them, what do you think of that? If they're like, yeah, that's hard, bruv. For those that are watching from America, when we say that is hard, bruv, that means that is very good, brother. Another lesson on British slang with Gabriel say. If you need help with any of this stuff, you can go to Fiverr, 5 Squid. Does that even exist anymore? Anyway, People Per Hour is another good one. So there's all these freelancer sites that are really good for, creating your logo and stuff from the cheap end, which you've got Fiverr. People Per Hour is a little bit more expensive, but they're there to aid you. Oh yeah, but Gabe, how do we do it? Well, that's easy, Igor. So I should hit the switch then, yeah? Nothing happened, boss. Oh wait.
He's alive! Let's start riding. My flows bring the tide in. My John Cochran, break your pride in.
So yeah, bringing it to life. So manufacturing. This is where a lot of people just kind of jump in. They're like, oh, so everyone's just looking for a manufacturer, but what about all the other stuff? But we're here now. We're here together on this journey of life. When it comes to manufacturing, it's really, really stressful. So before I get into how to find a decent manufacturer, because I've got some very, very key tips that you can use to make sure you don't get burnt. But what do the manufacturers need to start with? Because before you even contact a manufacturer, you need to have this on lockdown. And that is a tech pack and a spec sheet, which is also my mistake number 4. If you saw my tech pack and spec sheet, this is all just from Googling and stuff. What do they need? My first ones look like Elijah drew it. But hey, we make mistakes, we get better, and the evolution of my tech and spec packs got better and better each time. Can we please show Exhibit A? So a tech pack is the details. So these are normally CAD or Illustrator drawings of your product, showing the inner workings. So it will have little close-ups. So say here, it will have little close-ups of here. Maybe you want the stitching in a certain way, so you'll elaborate on that. You'll, show these bits and the stitching across there, where the logo placement's gonna be. If it's more detailed, like hoodies, it can be where's the zip gonna go? Just basically how it looks, so they can have a full understanding of exactly what you're looking for. Then the spec sheet is the specific measurements for the basic stuff that they need. If we're looking at a t-shirt, there's very specific measurements that they need to create your product. If again we're looking at this vest, they need to know the thickness here, the measurement across the chest, across the middle, across the bottom, the full length. They need those basic things. If I had additional things, that say I had a pocket here, then they need to know how big the pocket is. So that's the spec sheet, all the individual measurements for everything that you're creating. So guess what? You're gonna need measurements. Now the best way to find measurements, and you can speak to people that help others create brands and stuff, and they'll tell you the same thing, is to find stuff that fits you kind of well. Because a lot of the time people are creating clothes because they want to solve a problem to do it themselves, which could potentially be a more widespread problem. So you find something that kind of fits you, but you'd be like, I'd love it if I could just change this, or it would be perfect if it was just like this and like this and like this. And you make those adjustments with pins. So you pin it, get someone to help you, and be like, oh, it'd be so much better if there was like maybe 2 inches off of here, and then pin it. And then keep doing that until when you put it on, you're like, yeah, this is it. Then, fuck was that? Then start taking measurements of everything and draw it, sketch it to start with, or find a template. There's templates online as well. So you can find the templates and print it off or whatever, or draw it and then mark what each of the measurements are in inches. Like inches or centimeters, you just have to specify on your spec sheet what measurements you're using, what unit you're using. And I would spend days and days and days learning and creating the spec sheets and tech packs. Spec sheets were okay because once I had the template, it was all right. I can just, edit it. But the tech pack for the individual bits, learning how to do new things on Illustrator every single time to get my point across of what I want, was tough as hell. But it's shown me, I now understand what needs to be done. I know the process, I understand the process, rather than just giving it to someone. Then if they go, then I'm like, oh shit, what happens now? Please, 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 put money aside. Put money aside to, well, one, learn a bit of the process, understand what they should look like and stuff like that. But put a little bit of money aside to go on People Per Hour, go on Fiverr, go on any of these websites and get someone to just make the tech and spec pack for you. Also need to know about fabrics. So this is the tech and spec pack. You specify for every single component what you want the material to be. So you could be looking at simple polycotton, cotton elastane. What's the best way to find materials? Is either go online. A lot of these fabric shops will send you a swatch pack for free. You can pick different materials and they will send it to you for free. Or go to a shop. Now I actually think that the last time we did this, people just thought like me and Aisha had like just a clothes fetish. We just love feeling clothes. We were going around and just like touching like, this one feels nice. Give it to me. Give it to me now. So stupid. But like, I was finding materials that had a good feel. I was like, is this how I want it to fit? Is this how I want it to feel when someone wears it? And then you just look in the label and see what the blend is. And also understanding, so if it says polycotton elastane, what does each one do? What property does it have? So this is where research comes into play. Understand what cotton does, understand what polyester does, understand what elastane does, and then see how fusing them together will create something that you like and why it's creating what you like. Finding manufacturers is one of the painstaking things you can ever do, and normally is the one thing that puts a hold on your whole project because you need to get this right. One for the product and two for the relationship that you have with them. It makes life a lot easier. There's a couple of ways that you can do this. There's other ways that loads of people have said, which I haven't personally experienced, but I would say Alibaba is where I found my current manufacturer and the 3 previous, and also clothing conventions. I went to one called Pure London, which just loads of manufacturers will come and it's like the body power of clothing manufacturers. The first thing, they all talk a big game, but only a few of them can deliver. I'm gonna give you, what is it, 7 tips I think it is? 7 tips that will stop you from getting burnt by these manufacturers. So number 1 of the process is go on Alibaba, see what manufacturers catch your eye, like what location, and then create a shortlist. Message all of these people and say, a basic, this is what I'm trying to create. I'm trying to create hoodies. I have measurements, I have the design. You will get flooded with WhatsApp messages. Like I'm talking like even to this day. To this day!
this day.
Sorry. Even to this day.
To this day.
All of them will say, yes, we can do it. Yes, we can do it. Yes, we can do it. And they will offer you the world. So then the next question is, what's your MOQ? So this is your minimum order quantity. There's no point in going with a manufacturer whose minimum order quantity is 1,000. Their price might be good, but that's for 1,000 units. When you're just starting and you probably only want maybe like 50 or 100. Once they're giving you this, explain what you want in as much detail as possible without sending the designs just yet. So as much detail as possible, showing them examples, little pictures or whatever, explain what you want. Number 4, if at this point they ask for money, block they ass. I didn't the first time and I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, and it just kept coming back to money. They didn't care about the design, they just kept coming back to money. You know, I was asking for very specific things and no, just coming straight back to money, and I was like, naivety or naivete, however you want to say it, just led me to believe that that's how it works with international manufacturers. Which then goes on to point number 5. If they ask for more details, if you've said, I want a hoodie with this zip and this and that, or this type of material, and they say, okay, let me check if we have that material. Oh yes, we have that material. What type of, so that one of the first ones was camouflage, the camouflage design I had. What type of camo do you want to use? These are the ones that we have. What type of zip do you want? These are the ones that we have. So they're showing you their value. This is what we can do for you, not give me your money, give me your money, give me your money, give me your money. Number 6, ask to see actual product pictures. Because again, naivety. When I saw these manufacturers and they had these really cool clothes, I was like, wow, did they make those? Then you click on another one. They have the same pictures. What? They can all make these? Nah, they just use exactly the same pictures. So I was like, right, let me ask for actual physical pictures of products. One of them sent me some stuff. I was like, yo, that is sick. A few more sent some through. I was like, yo, that's sick. Then another one sent one through and I was like, right, you've just sent the same pictures as my guy and my guy. You've just, what is going on here? Block their ass. Then number 7, I surprised one of them. I video called them on WhatsApp. Can I just see, you know, where you work, what you do? Are they in an office? Are they like other people working like on designs or taking calls or whatever? If they're in an office and you say, can you see the shop front or the factory? A couple of them will call back and then say, oh yeah, this is a shop front, this is a factory, blah, blah, blah. My office is a different building. Cool. And then once we've got past that, those hurdles, you ask for the sample prices. Because I didn't go through those the first couple of times, those points. And when I asked for sample prices, they're giving me prices for bulk orders. So how many do you want? So how many do you want? Bruv, I haven't even seen if you can make it yet. You need to show me. Gabe, you're getting angry. Remember what Mike said? Breathe. So yeah, don't let any of them pressure you into bulk orders or any of that. Get your sample, understand what they can do, and get a couple of samples. So get one sample, make some adjustments, and then get another sample. But this is the business that it is, and this is the process and the trial and error that you need to go through to weed out those people. And that's why I said the manufacturer is very important in terms of relationship and the product. And now, just before you get started, you need to get your shiz protected. I'm talking about trademarking, protecting the design, protecting your logo. Copyright is a lot harder. Trademark isn't too bad. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Like, that gives you the basics of what you need to be thinking about, how you need to approach certain things and how to find manufacturers. But it also brings you up to speed of where I'm at now. And like I said, the future of these videos are gonna be very hands-on, I would say. What are you doing next, Gabe? You gonna call the marketing team? Building a website? You have serious issues, you know that. So yeah, stay tuned as you join this journey to clothes making. That didn't sound as cool as I thought it was going to be. Anyway, if this video did help in any way, shape or form, and you think that, you know, it could help someone, maybe you've got a friend who wants to start a clothing line or whatever. What is this guy doing? Oh, my guy's on a skateboard. And I just thought he was just going like this because I couldn't see the skateboard. I thought he was just moving a bit mad. Anyway, yeah, this video does help. Give it a share. Smash the ting. You know what I'm saying? Hit the like button. And yeah, catch you guys in the next one. Hopefully this video is not too long. I didn't want it to be too long. Anyway, peace.